welcome to gagrul.net. My name is Wally Sarkisian, and we have today a guest, Peter Manoukian. And Peter, welcome.
Welcome, Mr. Wally Sarkisian. I have always been a fan of your show. You are a great patriot, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So you wanted to have a conversation, but I didn't know what subject you want to talk. So feel free.
Well, it's spontaneous. It will flow with the flow. Yeah. I usually don't mark any questions lately. I just go with the flow and spontaneously. I think that if I write some questions and ask them, it will change over the course of the conversation. So no need. This is my own experience. I don't know. Of course, you are more experienced and you can give a better scenario.
All right. Yeah, because normally when we do something, we have some subject, we talk about it. But so you're a part of this Bever organization, or you're just independent?
No, I am independent. I am not a partisan with the National Democratic Axis, but we agreed on the strategic points. I'm originally a supporter of the Hınçak Party as a democratic socialist and a national socialist.
Oh,
But the thing with Pever is we met at crossroads because in the foreign policy we agree 100%. I believe just like the Pever, just like the NDA, that we need to approach the West, and Russia failed us so many times. And I blame the Armenians more than Russians because Russians are not deceptive. They made it clear for so long that they are not our allies, but we keep insisting. And on the internal policy, I agree with them 90%. I oppose the current authorities fiercely, just like they do. So when two parties agree on the strategic points, I don't focus on the ideological and theoretical stuff because they are more of a right wing. I'm more of a left wing. But today, what is at stake is not any social or ideological combat. Today, we have a very serious issue because our state and our homeland is under the threat of being perished and going to oblivion. So at this moment, I consider myself in accordance and in parallel with the NDA, but not a parliament member.
so how street thugs took over the government?
Well, Wally, I can tell you that populism, you know of populism. Populism has now a very firm foot in the homeland. I think Mr. Pashinyan was a very smart opportunist when he did what he did because the ground was prepared. All it took was someone to be very fast and very nimble, very smart and clever to do that job. He is a very smooth talker. We should agree that he's a very smart guy. He's not someone stupid or how some describe him. He is very smart, and he has a very smart way to talk to the public in their own language. I'm sorry to say, in the low level of this country, he knows how to address these people, he knows how to manipulate them, and he knows how to manipulate their emotions. Something that no other party or no other politician can do. He is a very smart populist.
So he recognized Artsakh part of Azerbaijan, and somehow if this was during Kochari and Sarkisian would be a revolution, but somehow entire Armenian nation from diaspora to there, everybody's quiet. Do you have idea why?
Exactly. That is why I want to congratulate you, first of all. Please allow me to congratulate you, Wally, because today the diaspora, even the parties that say that they oppose Pashinyan, they are very silent to the edge that our Katolicos, our Catholics in the diaspora raised his voice and clearly blamed the ARF, the Tashnak party, I think, because no one is saying anything. That is for the diaspora. As for here recognizing Artsakh, people have sadly very short memory. I think you remember that when he got on stage and when he was mobilizing the people, he made very loud statements out proud. Artsakh is Armenia and that's it. But I think that this guy, while he is very smart to mobilize the crowds, the masses, when he came to the statehood, to the state leadership, he proved to be a very big failure. I'm sorry to say, with all due respect, that Mr. Pashinyan can be a very smart speecher, populist. He can mobilize the crowds. He can make them happy and enthusiastic. But as a state leader, we all know that he is a very big failure, and it can be determined by the results. His results are terrible, more than terrible. I'm sorry to say that he has done to Armenia more harm than anyone else in the past 30 years. He keeps blaming the foreigners with his slogan "Nahkinera," but I'm sorry to say that he surpassed them, and no one, no ever leader in Armenia has done the same damage in this record time like the civil contract and Pashinyan did. They are leading this country to the valleys.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, but what can you do? You know, like a journalist, we always expose, we always put things in there, but when you have society so silent, it's what can anybody do anything? I mean, you could scream, I could scream. I mean, I know in diaspora, except me and Harun Sasunian, nobody's saying anything. Nobody's talking about it. They're all uh, self-serving. You know, like in diaspora, the worst thing happened was this so-called pan-Armenian. You know, so I assume Pashinyan brought them all, put them together, 20 organization, and so now all of them are afraid of each other to say something, and so they're all silent. And some of them even split now. Tashnag is split, ANC split. I mean, it's a mess. You know, this one man have completely destroyed Armenian society, both in diaspora and now they invite me. I
Exactly.
used to go lots of those galas. Like I interview people. I don't go anymore because who you talk, you never know the person is you talking. He's pro Pashinyan or anti Pashinyan because that's whole Armenia now is. Either you're pro Pashinyan or you're anti. There is no more
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like there is no parties, there is no Henchag, Tashnag, Ramkavor, or anything. They're all somehow half of it with here, half of them with there, and it's a disaster. I tell you, it's a disaster. I never seen. I started this gagrul.net year 2000. There was not too many even Armenian online website. All my goal was exposing Turkish crime. But now we're exposing Pashinyan crime. So it's completely
It's very sad.
changed everything. So all we talk is Pashinyan, Pashinyan. And he built his security. He's hiding behind the police, and none of you could do anything. And I think he's gonna be there for next 30 years. So he knows how to manipulate the public, as you mentioned a few minutes ago, and he spent millions on police and security, and there's nothing we could do but talk.
You know, Wally, when Mr. Pashinyan came to power, he promised the people that this will be the era of harmony and love and reconciliation. But today, no one is reconciled. We have never seen such level of antagonism
Never.
and lack of tolerance. Everybody hates everybody. I have never expected when I came to Armenia. I have never expected to see Armenians this much split. Baraktavaz, they say. He became the symbol and the inspiration of
Yeah.
division, and there is a huge issue. No one wants to talk, Wally. I have invited so many leaders of the diaspora parties, yeah, but they all either hide or refuse, or the worst thing that they do, they ignore. Do you know, Wally, what I keep suggesting? But we nationwide, we make some kind of conference. This is the time that we set and decide on the guidelines. The guidelines are lost. Every concept, every understanding, every political, national, and patriotic guideline today is distorted and is confused. Some people say that they support. No, please allow me to salute Mr. Harun Sasunyan. I saw his interview with you late when he said that if you're patriotic, you cannot be with this government. There is some strange, distorted distortion that some people claim that we are with this government because they are parties that are based on statehood. This is ridiculous and unacceptable distortion of facts. Who said that authorities and the statehood and the state are the same thing? Even level one of the political alphabet knows that authorities are not the state or the statehood. We all complete and full are the statehood. I mean the opposition and the journalists and the media and most of all the citizens combined and the republic are the statehood. How can you try to confuse moderational is the word, the exact word. They want to distort and confuse and make you believe that if you are with the opposition, you are running and combating the statehood. This is absolutely ridiculous. No, there is no single party in Armenia. I am not with the Armenia aliens. You know how much everyone knows how much I oppose Armenia aliens because we disagree on foreign policy. They declare themselves allies of the Kremlin. Well, I oppose the Kremlin, but there is not today a single political party to be objective and to be fair that is running outside the democratic game. Everyone in Armenia is exercising the democratic game. This is a fact. So when it is very provocative to say that all the parties that are opposition are the enemies who want to undermine the state. This is unacceptable. Why is this happening? And why are there so many concepts that are distorted? Because today the Armenian society, the Armenian community has no idea what are the political fundamental guidelines, patriotic and national. Everything is distorted and manipulated, and there is no one except you, Mr. Wali, and Mr. Sasunyan, who keep reminding us of the basics of politics.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a total disaster what Armenian nation are facing now. Total disaster. I've never seen in my entire life. And we always had those political parties. They had their own things, but they always had their own ideas. But this much hatred this guy injected into the Armenian society, it's
Absolutely.
really, it's you cannot even imagine. How could one man be able to inject so much hatred in the society? Is just behind. And the funny part is they all I had interviewed somebody a couple of days ago. The question they always ask, who you replace Pashinyan with? Like there is there is 3 million people in Armenia, there is 10 million in diaspora. Like, how about if tomorrow he dies? What's going to happen? The Armenian would die with him? So it's just like people are becoming so ridiculous. It's just behind imagination. How you replace it. Like in Britain, 3 prime ministers they changed in the last 3 years. Just one of them because of energy crisis. This guy killed people. Nobody want to do anything. Well, actually, not people. Lots of people want to do anything, but he's hiding behind this massive police force he created. Look at that. What country has this much police surrounding government? Nobody, no country. And so he knows, as you said a few minutes ago, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. He borrowed $5 billion. He spent half of it on police, security, taking care of his own people, and so everybody now is loyal to him. And Armenia happened to be a poor country, when somebody,
Maybe yes.
when somebody, is making $200 a month, if you give him $1,000, of course he's going to be loyal to you, And so this is what's happened.
Yes. just to make I don't know if it was a question or an idea, but let me tell you. First of all, I want to testify something that Mr. Pashinyan said. He said something very realistic. He's a very experienced political person and knows what he talks about. He was realistic and honest. He said, today, if we replace Pashinyan with a new government, I'm not gonna lie to you. Things will not get better from today to tomorrow. But he used this very wise word. There will be something called damage control. When we replace the government today, Armenia is going to the very uh, downsides at a very high speed. At least we will have damage control and we will slow down the process, not stop it, but we will slow down the process. Because things every 10 days we have a catastrophe. This is for Mr. Sasunian's idea that I testify used as a testimony. The second idea is what the national movement, the National Democratic Alliance, suggests, and I believe that it is very logical. But till now, maybe he needs some cooperation and unification. When we replace this government, we will place a national, temporary, transitional government from all factions of the opposition. Personally, I am talking about my own idea. I'm not talking on behalf of the NDA. Personally, I would suggest that yes, there will be a unification. We cannot deny that the ARF and Kocharian and Serbs, they are powers that are present. I'm talking about my own view.
Let me
We
stop
have
you.
to
Let me stop you there.
please go
Okay.
ahead.
So you brought good point. When I interviewed even like the Bever, Papian, Hike, which is he's not no longer with them. What is Vahe Gasparian? I don't know, lots of them. I said to them, look, stop this crap like Kocharian is this. I said, time like this, you have to go say to Kocharian, let's grab your hand, let's unite, remove this criminal is destroying the country. Look, I mean, I never met Kocharian, never met Sarkisian, but they, no matter how, every country in the world, their leader enrich themselves. There is no country. I live in the United States, I know how this is, and it's, they stole some money, but they didn't destroy the country. This guy have destroyed the country, demoralized the society. Why can't you guys unite for at least until you remove this guy, then, go run for your political party, run for election, whatever. But they don't want to do it. You talk to every person, you talk, Kocharian is this. Sorry, what? If you're not going to unite, how are you going to fight? And now, Pashinyan is sending Garo Palin around in U.S., other places, says, oh, we need to unite. I said, unite. You want to unite behind the divider? The guy who already divided? I mean, how you
Yes,
unite?
absolutely.
And there are others, like they're going around and saying we must unite. You cannot unite unless you get rid of the guy who divided the people, And so, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Good point. We don't have a dogma. And I appreciate that you made your point. But to be fair and objective, I'm not the defending lawyer of the NDA, but there is another issue. There are some issues here. First of all, it's not only the NDA that refuses to unite. Every time the Armenian Revolutionary Federation, the Tashnak, and Kocharian and Serge, they keep accusing the NDA of being plan B of the government. It is very ridiculous and absurd. This is one. Second, when we unite, we need to have some sort of general ground, maybe. The difference is very deep because the NDA and the national forces, they insist that we get away from the Kremlin. These forces, they have a name. I don't like to use this word, but they have a name. I don't adopt it. The Fifth Sharasun. they describe the pro-Russians in this name. I don't want to adopt or use such terms. But maybe there needs to be a minimum sort of agreement. Third of all, you must remember that a lot of people, Wally, there is something that Mr. Sefilian said that I think it's very logical. A lot of people in Armenia and the majority of people, when they hear the word Kocharian or Serge, they khirchil, they become terrorized. Maybe it's best for such a situation that Mr. Kocharian and Mr. Serge leave the podium for a while, or they leave the podium. There are other forces inside the Republican Party and inside Kocharian's bloc. Why didn't they suggest other names? Because these two names have a very bad reputation. So I think that Mr. Sefilian has a good point here. I think that for such a situation, it is best as the Republican Party has another figures, and so does Kocharian blocks. There is I don't want to exclude anyone from the ARF. The ARF have a clean reputation. Despite me being a Henchakian, I want to say that there is no such terrible reputation for the Tashnak party. The only thing that they are blamed is they are seen as opportunists who have been allied with these forces. So I think that the flexibility must be on both sides. But I agree with you, and I want to be very audacity here. I want to say that you have a very good point. If we want to have a national unity, we cannot exclude these forces from the equation. I mean, we cannot exclude the ARF, neither the Republican Party, nor the supporters of Kocharian, because these forces have a presence on the ground. Please go ahead.
Yeah,
I am trying to be fair and objective.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. Like, they have to unite. They have to. In English, they say you bite the bullet. You know, you bite the bullet, and you extend your hand to all of them. Unite together, because otherwise, like even Bever, I don't care what idea they have. They are a small organization. There is no way they can lead the country. They need to unite with other people. And then they could produce, like, look, Russia, people are, I'm not supporter of Russia. But the problem is, when you have one ally, you must, like, look at Syria, perfect example. When Syria knew how diplomatically to use Russia, that's how 11 years they fought the same enemy that Armenia had, the Turks, the others, So they stayed in power because Syrian president knew how to use diplomacy, keep Syria with them, Russia with them. But Armenian, they came in power. First day, Russia and is this, Russia and that. Great. Fix. Find somebody else. Find if you have some other ally, 100%. Like America is not going to come and do anything in there. It's just myth. United States, it depends on the president. One president comes, different policy, next president comes, different policy. They don't have consistency. And also they always mess up someplace and they run. We've seen this. They did in Iraq. They did. The only place that they are standing 100% is Israel and Taiwan. Because because it's Jewish lobby, it's powerful in the United States. Armenia doesn't have that. So Russia is the next door to you. Whether you like it or not, you have to find a language to deal with Russia. This is why it's just mind-boggling. You've been dealing 30 years with Russia. Okay, if you don't like Russia, fine. Slowly, surely get rid of it. But don't just, in the middle of war, in the middle of the problem you have, you keep attacking your number one ally. This is why lack of diplomacy.
Well, but we are not here to argue, but just let me make a remark that in the foreign policy, I don't agree with you because it's not, the problem is not from the Armenian side. This is how I see things. I see things that it is not Armenia who refuses good relations with Russians. It is Moscow who is using Armenia as a bargain like it always did. We are not here to argue. Maybe we can do another episode and argue at large, but this will take a lot of our time. But my point of view is that it is not the problem of the Armenians. It is the Russians who made it clear that they are not the allies of Armenia. Why? There are many reasons. One of them is that they have no more capability to stay in this region. I think they will pull out, whether we like them or we hate them. I think the Russians will pull out, and they prove they are incapable in Ukraine. Okay, I agree with you that this was a all plan from the 2017, and the Democrats wanted to corner Russia. And luckily for Russia, Donald Trump came, and he was more realistic. He didn't want to push war with Russia and build the economy in the USA. I followed. But on the Armenian side, my point of view is it is not the guilty part of the Armenians. It is the Kremlin who doesn't want to be friends with Armenians anymore. What can we do? If Russia wants to help us, let it. But it doesn't want to. So whatever we do, we will not make it our ally. This is my point of view. You may disagree and express. I am very democratic and balanced. I will not be annoyed. Please go ahead. But this is my own point of view.
It's okay. Everybody has their own opinion, and you live in Armenia, so you know much more than I do. So
no, it's not like that. Anyway, it's not like that.
But I'm
sure that you know about Armenia as much as me and more.
But
you
if Russia,
not like that.
If Russia wanted to get rid of Armenia, tomorrow he could pull all his troops from Armenia. There are so many places still Russian protecting Armenia. So that's I don't know. But this, as you said, this subject itself, you need an hour for discussion. But I think we'll see. Like Armenia is trying now to go to the West, and we'll see what the West gonna do. You know, they're gonna throw some money at Armenia. Here is a couple of million here, million there. But if Azerbaijan tomorrow want to attack Armenia, I don't think West going to do anything. Just like Artsakh. They attack Artsakh. What the West did? Nothing. Neither Russia. Nobody cared. If Armenia doesn't have its own military to defend it, like all this time, during Kocharian, Sarkisian, they never called on Russia. They never said, Russia, come and help us. They defended Artsakh. They defended Armenia. But suddenly now, Pashinyan was crying, oh, Russia didn't help us. Russia didn't. Why would Russia help you? You have a government. You have a country. You have military. Why are you begging Russia? You know. So this is the point. Before this whole lie they created that Azerbaijan have built this huge military, it has oil. It's all lie. The Azerbaijan military build-up started after 2018. Because I have now a video I'm putting together about that. You know, that's how the Turks and Azerbaijanis, they started the first time they had the exercise in Nakhichevan. Because they got, when Aliyev met Pashinyan in Geneva, that was they designed, they planned all this crap, you know. But you know, blaming Russia for your failure, I was 18-year-old when I started my business. I always made sure the competitor respect me, like me. I always had good relationship with my competitor. And my competitor always gave me more business than I got from others. You need to know how to deal with your competitor. You can't just blame your friends. Oh, you didn't help me. You didn't do this. Russia's job was not to, if there was attack on Armenia. I mean, that's true. They were not in the plan. If they attack Artsakh, Russia will come and help. You know, this is the truth. Like a NATO. Same policy NATO has. If tomorrow Turkey when attack Syria, he asks for help from NATO. NATO says, we can't do nothing because you are the one who's attacking. But if somebody tomorrow attack Turkey, then NATO could come and help. Same thing with Russia. But as we said, this is a different subject. Whether we like it or not, that's why we all have different opinion. But I number one thing, I hope that someday somebody would unite all Armenians, whether it's Kocharian, Sarkisian, whoever is Tashnak, Henchak, they all have to say our country is in trouble. We must remove this idiot, unite ourselves. Because The only way Armenia gonna unite if Pashinyan was captured, put on a trial, and maybe execute them or something, whatever they could do to him, because he is the number one problem in Armenia. Kocharian is not the problem. Sarkisian is not the problem. Bever is not the problem. Nobody is a problem. And all those other parties, those small ones like Edmond Maroukian, and everyone has just one man party,
Yes.
what is that?
Yes. You're correct.
Aram Vazgen brother, idiot. And there are all those, like, they are just one man party. They're uniting
Well,
with
sure.
him, And so, and Pashinyan is taking care of him. Like, Edmund Maroukian, I had here, I interviewed him. And he was the one who was complaining that the reason he didn't get elected because his constituency in Lori region, wherever, they told them, well, we wanted to vote for you, but Pashinyan said if you vote for Maroukian, then the foreigners are going to come. And then he ended up working for Pashinyan. This is how you're dealing with people. So anyway.
Okay, I just want to say, Wally, you know what makes this interview special? I interviewed a guy from Lebanon. I want to salute him, Biran Seferian. I knew that he, like you, doesn't agree with me on the foreign policy, but nonetheless, I asked him the question, and he expressed like you. And I wrote an article, and you can be in it now. It is already published, but the same scenario here. I like this article, and it makes it special because you and I we do not disagree, but we do not agree on the same point, but we respect each other, and we don't get aggressive, and we don't get personal and offensive. And you know what is the major problem of the Republic of Armenia and all the Armenian nation? We have a very serious issue. People do not communicate. People do not want to listen to each other. When people disagree, they see the other as Satan. They want to satanize.
Yes.
Shaitan in Arabic. We have a major issue in the Armenian nation. We do not want to listen, and we want to accuse of being a traitor. We have a very deep crisis, a personality issue. Please go ahead.
I agree with you. Like, I was in Cyprus. I went to a restaurant. There's a couple came sit beside me, happened to be Armenian from Yerevan. And so we started having, he couldn't even speak good English. And so we started talking. He would say, oh, you're with Kochari and Sarkisian. Like, this is the problem. Anyhow,
Yes.
you have a conversation, they always accuse you're with them. Because they cannot defend Pashinyan. I mean, who could defend Pashinyan? When you can't defend them, then you accuse the person of being with the former. And so as long as, but then let me ask you this. You are in Armenia, you talk to people in the street, correct?
Yes.
So how is Pashinyan still is popular, or it's going down?
No. I can tell you by facts and by numbers. The numbers are very clear. First of all, the claim that Pashinyan has an iron mandate is a huge lie. First of all, in the second snap elections, all the people that voted were below 50%. And a huge percentage of people, among them me, I voted for Pashinyan, and thousands like me, because we were afraid that Kocharian or Serge, the Nakhkiner, the former ones, will return. Even with these numbers, he only got 27.6% or 26.7% exactly in the last elections. But when the Yerevan elections came, everything was now clear. All the people who voted in the elections were 27%. From these votes, he got 30%. That means that his candidate, Avinian, is elected by 9% of the votes. By a very simple math calculation, if you are so popular and you enjoy the people's mandate, how come 91% of the people in Yerevan citizen did not vote for you? And wherever Armenian get, people behaved with him with absolute cruelty and told him to get away. People I'm sorry to use this word, but it is what it is. People simply hate the civil contract. People cannot tolerate the civil contract. There is only a small portion of people who now support we call Pashinyan. Believe me, Wali, if today we have an election, he will get 10% of the votes. That game is over, that every time he says the former ones will return. That is why I agree with Mr. Sefilian, because this words, Kocharian and Serge, are, I think that Mr. Pashinyan every day prays to the Lord that God keeps these two safe, because their name repulses some people to vote for him. But this game is over, and I believe that he intentionally made the snap elections because he knew that after some years, like today, if there is an election, he will not get 10% of the votes. That's why 2 years ago he made his election, because he knew that 2 years from there, as much as it kept saying controversial and contradicting things, he says
But
one thing and the other every time, every time.
yeah,
People are not stupid. Mr.
both
Prime Minister Pashinyan, be careful. People's people are not stupid. People are not that naive, and people's patience is over. I do pray, and I wrote an article the other day. I do hope and pray from God that you have mercy on this nation and the people of Armenia, and for the love of God, please move away. The country is getting destroyed. I will not judge your intentions. Maybe you have the best intentions, Mr. Prime Minister, but your results are catastrophic failure. You came as a trainee, you want to learn and have experience how to govern a state, but you were the most expensive trainee in the history. You cost us 6 years, and you cost us Artsakh. This is not tolerant. This cannot be tolerated. You have to move away for the love of the nation, because if you keep with these policies, you are incapable. With all due respect, Mr. Pashinyan, you are just incapable. The results are very clear. Please move away, because before our statehood and our republic and our nation goes to oblivion. Please go ahead.
do you think he's gonna live his luxury life? He and his kid every week he's traveled to Europe, enjoy life. Do you think he's gonna volunteer give up? That's impossible. And also he knows he committed crime, and he's not gonna give up. With he's this guy, he came with the blood. In 2008, he killed 10 people. He's a violent person. He's not gonna just say, "Oh, sorry, I screw up. I'm gonna walk." He's not gonna do it. I trust. Take my word. This man. Look, how let me show you here. I interviewed Pashinyan when he came to Los Angeles, and that's where I find out he is con artist. He's the biggest manipulator and liar in the world, and that was the day I I turn on him. I start exposing and saying, because I knew it when I asked him 3 questions. Like I knew this guy is a scam artist. But Armenians, as you mentioned it, he's a good manipulator. He knows how to do that. But he's never gonna resign. I guarantee you. If he resign, I'll send you to Hawaii. He will not, because he knows one thing: he committed massive crime, and then he is living a luxury life. He's not gonna do it, my friend. So good luck if you could find a way convince him he resign. I'm sure many people like you ask him that question. So anyway, I'll give you like a last word, and then we'll close it.
Okay, thank you, Wally, for a very special interview. Like I said, I did not prepare any questions because I think that the flow was smooth. I want to say and stress out, of course, and it is known, just to be clear, I am an Orthodox champion who believe in the democratic, peaceful process. What I say and what I call for the Armenian people is to get organized, and that we change this government peacefully and democratically, of course, within the limits of the boundaries of the law. But if we cannot wait 2 more years, because the state and the republic is under state of being collapsed and disappeared. This is very serious. I warned so many people in Lebanon, Wali, that Lebanon will collapse. And I'm going to Armenia. I knew what was coming. It was not me who predicted. I listened to others, like the French foreign minister. Today, I want to say to the Armenian nation in the diaspora and in the Armenia, wake up. We are in a grave, serious danger. Let us change this government democratically, peacefully, but let us stop being indifferent. Let us stop these wine festivals, the parachutes, the Snoop Dogg. Let's wake up. Thank you, Wally.
Thank you for coming. All the best to you. So stay there. So to our viewer, thank you very much. And we're always open our doors. Anybody, if you are a strong Pashinyan supporter, you're welcome. We like to have open conversation, whether we like it or not. Make your point. So this is how life should be in every sector, every things. So today we had Peter Manoukian, and he wanted to have a conversation. I welcome him, and I appreciate his ideas and his motive, and you all. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in next episode. Have a nice day.